Joining me now, Missouri Senator Eric Schmitt. Senator, we had a little snafu with the audio at the top, but I think you got the point.
That was really good. That was like a really good angle. I've been on your show, but that was an incredible angle. I couldn't agree. Every word of it.
Thank you. Look, this was a screw-up. There's no doubt about it. I don't think anyone in that chat would ever be on a Signal chat in that way before. Give us your perspective on that before we get into this other larger topic.
Look, it was a mistake, right? But ultimately, the outcome, as President Trump said, was very successful. This wasn't confidential or top-secret information. It was a policy discussion, which, by the way, the Biden administration had okayed Signal for that kind of stuff, too. But I think what this really is about, this is about the Democrats. They have nothing. They have no leader. They have no message. They're grasping at something. And by the way, I answered more questions in the Capitol today about this than President Autopin not being able to put two sentences together for 4 years, and he was our commander-in-chief. This is the legacy media's play. There's some faux outrage. They ask you questions about it. They drive media coverage for a couple years. The good news, Laura, as you said, the American people saw it for what it is. They voted for President Trump, and they're really mad. The old guard is mad that you had this team in place that's changing the direction of American foreign policy. That's what it's about.
Yeah, the thing that I think might be a little tricky is the fact that Donald Trump rightly said repeatedly in the campaign that there was no one ever held accountable in the Biden administration. Now, those were failures where lives were actually lost, obviously. Afghanistan and, again, Lloyd Austin missing for like 10 days. He was in the hospital. No one even knew. What is that all about? I mean, that was just totally swept under the rug. But he made that accountability point, and I think, again, rightly so during the campaign. Should there be real accountability here? Because, we have everyone from your colleague, Senator Wicker, of the Armed Services Committee, basically saying that, they're going to investigate the Signal leak.
Personally, I think we're playing into the hands of the Democrats who want to overblow this thing. This is a faux controversy. Yes, a mistake was made, but ultimately war plans weren't shared. It was successful. They took out Houthi leaders, and by the way, did the job that Joe Biden wouldn't do. He made them they were no longer on the terrorist list. Iran got funded, which funded the Houthis. They were trying to take out our aircraft carriers. Joe Biden didn't do anything. This administration did something. Yes, it was a mistake. He was on your show last night, admitted it was a mistake. But the truth of the matter is American foreign policy is changing. That's what a lot of these folks don't like. That's the issue here. They don't want to see President Trump be successful, and they're blowing this thing out of proportion, in my view.
People over at National Review are they just want everyone fired. They want Hegseth fired. They hate Trump over there.
Listen,
anyway.
We're not going back.
Hegseth fired. They want Walls fired. They are just on a tear over there and are. But again, I don't know, God bless them, I don't know who reads National Review, but there is that view that Trump has to show that he won't tolerate screw-ups that embarrass him or even potentially put Americans at risk. I think it plays into the Democrats' hands. I wouldn't fire anyone in this circumstance.
Absolutely not. That's what they want. They want to scalp here. They didn't want Pete Hegseth to have his position in the first place. By the way, that was the question I was asked in the hallways today, mostly by these liberal reporters. Should Pete Hegseth resign? It's ridiculous. Again, a federal prosecutor said Joe Biden was so incompetent he couldn't stand trial. He was the commander-in-chief. Where were all these journalists asking questions then about his mental state? They were gone because they're all on the same team. We ought to stand together here and make sure that we understand this was a mistake. It shouldn't happen again, but they were successful, and it's a change in direction for foreign policy.
Der Spiegel is reporting tonight, Senator, that private data, including passwords and phone numbers of senior White House officials, have been found online. Apparently, reporters use commercial people search engines along with hacked customer data that's been published on the web. Those affected by the leaks include Tulsi Gabbard and Pete Hegseth and Waltz himself. Yeah.
Well, look, we're dealing with a dangerous environment where a lot of our adversaries are trying to hack our information. China, by the way, with Salt Typhoon has been, the most recent example during the campaign. So we got to be aware of it. But
shouldn't we just assume that China has all of our communications?
Yeah, like they had all the information on Hunter Biden's laptop.
Right, but we should assume that.
Yeah.
But you guys. I'm not saying you guys, but Republicans know this because Republicans have been talking about this regarding Hillary and everyone else. Hillary's obviously a hypocrite, but Republicans say that China's on it, Russia's on it, Iran's hacking us. So Trump is the smartest person out there because what did he say yesterday? Everyone should be in the same room.
Yeah.
He doesn't even know how a signal is. I don't blame him. But he's like, get in the room or get on a secure White House line. 19 people is a lot of people on a chat, don't you think?
It is, but look, again, if you're having a policy discussion, it's end-to-end encrypted. I mean, honestly, people say it's
until it lands on your phone, it's encrypted. Then it's on your phone.
No, look, obviously,
Right.
China is hell-bent on getting as much information as they can. The best way to do it is in a SCIF, but I don't think it's particularly unusual. By the way, a lot of the Congress people that are complaining about this
they're all on
Signal every single day.
And they'll all probably have Jeffrey Goldberg on their speed dial
Probably.
because they give him information, and David Ignatius and other foreign policy reporters, when they want to shape a story, they reach out. I mean, Goldberg has been around for a long time. I mean, he despises President Trump, but he has been around for a long time. And a lot of these people do talk to him. I know it for a fact. And everyone should just be careful.
Absolutely.
Senator, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.